Hey friends, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Leo here. All right, so I was reading St. Paul's letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 18. And it's just one verse, but I think it's particularly profound. So it says, I consider that the sufferings of this present age are as nothing compared with the glory to be revealed to us. So let me just read it one more time because it's pretty profound. I consider that the sufferings of this present age are as nothing compared to the glory to be revealed to us. Okay, so I think the elephant in the room is suffering. Oops, sorry for that. Is suffering. I think a lot of us go through life trying to avoid suffering, doing anything and everything possible to avoid suffering, and to try to maintain a state of comfort, of homeostasis, so to speak. And I think the biggest key to not combating, but embracing suffering is perspective. So it's all about perspective, how you view things, what kind of lens you look at the world through. And so let me try to put things into kind of a tangible perspective. So when it comes to suffering, a lot of us actually voluntarily choose to suffer for good things. So what am I talking about? Or we choose to suffer for a benefit, so to speak. So one example is dieting. A lot of us diet for health reasons, right? For health benefits. We stop eating sweets, we try to cut back on carbs, whatever it might be. But there absolutely is a certain amount of suffering that entails. You know, we really want to have that cookie, or 3 cookies, 10 cookies if you're me, but you know that you have to cut that out in order to obtain a benefit, a physiological benefit. So that's one example. Another example for those that train or work out or exercise, you know, it's not the funnest thing in the world to exercise, to lift weights. It's not the most pleasing thing in the world. I mean, if you enjoy the pain, then maybe you're at another level than I am, but you know, doing push-ups or sit-ups or arm curls, whatever it might be, running, like there's a certain degree of suffering that goes with that, right? It's you're not smiling through the entire process, but you know that there's a certain benefit that you'll be able to reap and enjoy at some point down the road. And so those are very physical, tangible ways in which we voluntarily seek suffering, or not seek it, but welcome it, embrace it. So why not also try to embrace suffering in a spiritual sense? Like, what do I mean? So a lot of us go through emotional turmoil here and there, and it's a very slippery slope to want to make yourself the victim. I mean, I know I do it all the time. I always kind of, you know, lash out and say, you know, why is this happening to me? Why am I the victim? Why am I going through this misfortune? And I'm reminded, as I continue to try to build up my faith, to try to become a good and faithful servant of the Lord, I'm regularly reminded that I should be offering it up. I should be offering up my suffering. And I know easier said than done, but it just makes a lot of sense. So I've learned that whenever you're going through some emotional hardship, that you should offer that suffering to help save a soul, to help bring a soul out of purgatory and welcome them home in heaven. And it's said that, God willing, when we make it to heaven, that all the suffering that we've offered for helping save souls, helping get souls into heaven, that those souls will actually personally approach you in heaven and thank you for your offering. That they will actually show appreciation for the offering and the prayers that you did to help the souls in purgatory get to heaven. And so how cool is that? That even once you get to heaven, you'll be able to encounter these souls, God willing, and be appreciated. I mean, I know I definitely, if I'm, in purgatory and I know exactly who prayed for me or who offered their suffering, and somehow because of their suffering I was able to get to heaven, I'm absolutely gonna approach them and give them a huge hug and, I don't know, just show my deep appreciation for what they did for me. So I think that alone, obviously it's not seeking the appreciation or the recognition, but knowing that you can help in some small degree, you can help a soul gain eternal joy, eternal life. Like, dude, that's, I mean, how do I say this? We do less for less. You know what I mean? So like the simple acts of, I don't know, helping an elderly folk carry the groceries to their door, or, we go out of our way to do that. So why not go out of our way to actually potentially help someone get to eternal salvation, eternal joy? It's I can't see why we wouldn't. So I think when you look at suffering through that particular lens of, okay, let me take this opportunity to offer my suffering, to offer my sorrows, so that potentially I could help save a soul, I feel like that at least helps rejuvenate you a little bit. It helps you, give you a little bit of hope, a little sense of strength while you're going through that suffering. So that's one thing. Another thing is I like to sort of compare my problems, and you've probably seen this in movies or shows or whatever. I like to kind of compare my problems from a physical standpoint. So from time to time, I'll run into these YouTube videos, for example, where our Earth and even each human being within Earth is kind of like compared to like the vastness of the cosmos. Like our Earth compared to our sun, obviously we know, I don't know how many million Earths fit in the sun or whatever. And then our sun compared to like another sun in our galaxy, and then our solar system compared to like another solar system, and our galaxy compared to another galaxy. And so just that alone, just visually looking at that, it's like, okay, yeah, my problems are probably not as profound as I make them to be. So it helps to kind of just visually look at things from a scaled level, so to speak, and recognize, okay, yeah, there are probably bigger problems in the universe than what I might be going through. So that's kind of like another hopefully helpful tip on how to embrace suffering, is recognize that it might not be as big as you make it to be. Especially, I look at a lot of the suffering that I've gone through recently, and then I think about, okay, the suffering that I'm going through now, will I remember it a year from now? Do I remember the suffering that I had even 2 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago? Obviously, there are some traumatic experiences that we go through, whether it's losing a loved one or whatever it might be, that we'll remember for sure. But the vast majority of our suffering, do we remember them? Do we remember, I don't know, the ticket that I got 6 years ago for making an accidental illegal U-turn, or something, whatever it might be. I mean, I remember it now, but I don't feel the same sorrow, the same suffering of, I gotta take it, you just kind of get over it. And so I feel like the majority of our suffering is really that bad, is as bad as something you'll forget a few months from now. So one more thing that I wanted to say is a quote from Saint Therese of Lisieux. I don't speak French, so I might be butchering that a little bit, but she says that the world is your ship. It is not your home. So I think we need to recognize God's promise when we are going through this turmoil. And remember that we are simply going through a pilgrimage in this earth. That this earth, this world, this life is our ship that is eventually getting us to our destination. And along the way, we'll have cruising waters, if that's even how you say it. Along the way, we'll have smooth sailing. And of course, along the way, we'll have choppy waters, we'll have storms that we'll have to weather through. And we know we will. We know we're going to encounter them. I mean, everyone does. It's like, we just know, right? And, but we have to continually remember that we're just on the journey. We are on the journey. We're not meant to store up goods and treasures here on earth. We're meant to store goods and treasures in heaven. And so regularly recognizing that our citizenship is in heaven and we're simply on a pilgrimage on a ship with the destination being our home, hopefully that helps to paint a better picture regarding our suffering, to know that it's temporary, to know that it just helps continue to build us up, to strengthen our faith, and to get us closer to God. Everything we've suffered in our life, Jesus already suffered on the cross. And so he became us so that we can become what he is, divine. And so hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of hope, a little bit of strength, and just something to ponder on whenever we might be going through these dark times, that there will always be hope. It's just a matter of trusting in God's promise, knowing that he's faithful to his promise, and that he won't let us down. He never has, and he never will. So I hope that helps a little bit to kind of give you a grain of sand's size worth of hope and strength. So, friends, please, if you wouldn't mind saying a little prayer for me, please know that I'm praying for you. And right now it's December 21st as I'm recording this, so if I don't get to speak to you again until after Christmas, just wanting to wish you a Merry Christmas. And obviously even after the 25th, it's the Christmas season anyway, so it'll still be a very Merry Christmas. Okay, friends, well, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. See ya.